My name is Bernadette Bisagno, and I apologize. I have to be to one part of the screen because my phone is broken. You can't see too good on that side, only on this side. September 12th, I was illegally arrested. Jersey City Municipal Chief Prosecutor Jacob V. Hudnut came to my house with no warrant, asked if he could come in, and when I said he could not, and I asked him to give me a moment so I could call my attorney, he then said, "No, you're not," and he punched me. He did this so I could not complete my call. When I picked up my phone, Sergeant Calton came along and slapped me, further breaking my phone. I was also sexually mishandled by Hudnut when he was illegally blocking me from my own entryway. I want everybody to know, because they've blocked me off of other social medias, that I was illegally arrested, illegally assaulted. They took my mom. They also arrested my mom. She's 80. They arrested my mom illegally. They arrested her for tall weeds in the backyard. No, I don't mean marijuana. I mean actual weeds in the backyard, as in foliage, as in grass. So they arrested my mom for tall weeds in the backyard. They bruised her up. They threw her in the hospital, which she remains there a hostage to this day. They illegally arrested me. No warrant, no Miranda. I technically was given a reason of arrest, but they're changing the reason of arrest. I have cause to believe that the team that came to arrest me was hopped up on some type of opioids or cocaine or something. I don't know if they were all drunk or what have you, but they showed up to my home. They took my mom after they assaulted me and illegally barged in my house. They arrested and took my mom. They still have my kids hostage. They had me hostage for 6 days, no phone call. Hudnut himself lied and said that he contacted my attorney. This was pure fiction. He never contacted anyone. He never called an attorney. The only person Hudnut called was the media so that he could lie about me while he illegally kept me hostage in jail. There's so much to the story. I could literally go on for several hours, but I am going to keep this video and all the future videos short. This is basically this video to inform people of what has occurred. Hudnut has posed on social media as this great guy who helps animals. And by the way, he took my animals, my baby animals. He took my animals. And he illegally adopted them out without my permission, without my knowledge, up under me, behind my back. My animals are very, very attached and connected to myself as well as my children. And all of this is a white supremacist move because we are the last ethnics. We're the last ethnics to own. We are Moors. We represent ourselves as such. There is a Moorish flag hanging in front of my house. I homeschool. I teach the real Kemetic history and the real Kemetic science. I teach the real history unedited. They do not want me to write the books that I am writing. They do not want me to heal people because I am a healer. They do not want me to stay in the neighborhood, and they want to tear my family apart. That's what they are doing. What they've done to my children alone is disgusting and deplorable. And every single thing done to my kids and to me and to my mother is courtesy of via Jacob V. Hudnut. Now, he's the prosecutor, so you'll ask, well, how could the prosecutor have that much power? He doesn't. No, a regular prosecutor doesn't. But see, quality of life prosecutor is not supposed to be the quality of life prosecutor is not supposed to be the municipal court prosecutor, because the two are supposed to correlate and debate and figure out what to do with people. So you basically have one man who's in charge of several departments, and the quality of life department that he's in charge of, he has his hands in DIFUS, Adult Protective Services, criminal court, civil court. He has access even to superior court, even though he is the city. That is way too much power for one princess. Oh, I'm sorry, man, if you want to call that a man. But no real man would hit a woman. Okay? Hudnut, psychopath. No real man would hit a woman. And just so you all know, there is video footage of my person being assaulted because I would not allow these criminals in my home. The criminals I speak of is Jacob V. Hudnut, assaulter and criminal. Sergeant Calton, also assaulter and criminal. And the entire quality of life team. I want you to understand something. For 3 years, I have been complaining to quality of life as the city does all these illegal things, as the police do all these illegal things. Nobody is coming to my aid. Nobody is helping us out. But the quality of life team made up anonymous, let me see, these anonymous, first they said it was my neighbors who complained about me. Just want you to know, all my yuppie neighbors are the ones who called DIFUS and told them I was innocent and that Jacob V. Hudnut is an insane liar. He threw me on the news. He said many, many things, but he lied to you. He said that he saved my mother and kids. My kids are in DIFUS care, and half the time they are not being fed. You heard me. They are not being fed. My house had some mice and some ants. The house they're in now have mice, and it's brimming with roaches. Thank you very much. When they took my children from me, my children were the picture of health. They had a medical examination in the hospital. 2 weeks later, my 16-year-old has hypertension, and my 11, who turned 12 out of my care, 12-year-old, had strep throat, severe strep throat, and severe viral mouth infection from all the roaches and filth in the home they were placed in. Mind you, Hudnut said my home was dirty and filthy. I want you to understand something. Hudnut and the quality of life team white supremacists trashed and dirtied my house. The quality of life team took garbage that was inside the house as well as garbage from outside the house and poured it all over the inside of my house, then padlocked my house. And it's, oh, I don't know, like 40 days later. So he is trying to create an infestation because he claimed we had one. So if we had one, I'm supposed to go in and clean. Yet, even when the court said, yeah, we want you to go and clean, Hudnut says, no, I don't want her to clean her house. I want her to sit in jail. What kind of crazy are you? And who are the judges who are listening to you? Judge DePascal told you, Hudnut, that you cannot force medication on me. Hudnut has given me 5 mental evaluations in 6 days, and by the end of the last mental evaluation, it was my doctor, as a matter of fact, who concluded that Hudnut is the one who is crazy and not I. I'm going to leave this short because there's way too much to say. But this first video is to address the fact that Hudnut illegally came to my house, busted in with no warrant. Prior to this, I was threatened by Hudnut himself, one of my attorneys, my former attorneys, as well as several neighbors were witness to Hudnut telling me, Miss Bassanio, you may have won the battle, but I will win the war. And when I get my hands on you, we're going to do this all my way. So that's a threat. And Hudnut threatened me back in the first week of August. I understand, Hudnut, you have no life, you have no children, and you are an evil, evil white supremacist Nazi. That's what you are. And the doctor at the hospital agreed with me that 3 or more vitamin deficiencies is the basis, the medical basis for bipolar and schizophrenia. She agreed with me that you probably have 5 to 6 different vitamin deficiencies. Hudnut, you are being exposed. You did not save anybody, and it is my understanding that you have done this to other people too. You did this because even though I look kind of white, I am not white. And we are poor people, and they do not want poor people, especially non-whites, to live in my area. I was told by a realtor that my area is not sectioned off for black owned, and my children are black. They're really American Indian, Cherokee, and Blackfoot, but you know what I mean. So I'm letting you know that everything that Jacob V. Hudnut and Jersey City is doing to me is highly illegal. This is the first part, part 1. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about further illegalities and all the different departments who are well aware of all the illegal that is going on. Part 1 over. See what I say in part 2.